So it's without question that Kristen Cavallari needs to go up there in one of the top 10 reality stars of all time. And her name never really comes up because she spent a lot of time away. She did Laguna in the Hills and kind of did other things too. She was hosting for a while. I believe she dabbled in acting as well and then was away for so many years. Motherhood, Jay Cutler, that whole thing, and then went back to reality. But she just has it, and she has it in a way that she's so captivating and compelling. These days, it seems like reality stars could succeed just by sort of playing, I guess I still call it Twitter. I'm older. Playing Twitter and like saying a thing that's going to just create a debate and this and that, and suddenly that person does become the person who's successful. Not a lot for the basis of compelling. Like, we don't get a lot of compelling cast members anymore. And Kristen Cavallari, her new reality show, wonderful. I mean, I was one of the first people, of course, right here, just in this little platform. Of course, you can support my Patreon, though, too, if you want. Patreon.com/randomly Ronnie Jr. But the point is, when she first did her podcast, let's be honest, I believe she did that right after she did the rewatch series with Steven for Laguna Beach, which was with Dear Media. But as soon as she started up with the new one, I was like, okay, the name is interesting, let's be honest, but maybe she's saying I've had to do reality TV for so many years. Now it's time for me to kind of give my opinion and my side of things. So she's doing that, and it was good. I was early on. I was like, this is going to be a hit. And the show went on for many months. And all of a sudden there was that run where week after week after week after week, and some of the topics I didn't love, but still week after week after week, she was creating such a stir. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, Kristen Cavallari, she really knows how to create a headline, and she's great at podcasting, and she's, brings you in and compelling. And I'm like, I've been saying that from the jump. I could always see success and talent, and I like to think that I'm success and talent myself, but things are what they are. I started at a different time in career, with the days of not as much direct to consumer, the social media, digital, that kind of manipulation stuff that's never fun to me. The stuff that I fell in love with was more like radio and broadcast, but this is not about me. This is just about me getting excited that there is a person, who's like a business mogul, entrepreneur, personality that's actually entertaining. She was on the Watch What Happens Live with Amanda Petula. Amanda is from Summer House, and I love Summer House, and it was just such a conversation of Craig, being Paige's ex, and Kristen Cavallari and Craig, and she just, the way she answers those questions with Andy Cohen and the excitement that she brings out, I just wish we see more of that on reality TV shows, that the person is actually I don't want to just say unfiltered, because sometimes it is professionalism in a business that needs to kind of be in there for you to succeed, but I wish there's just that vibrancy. And a lot of times the people that are winning these days don't really have that. I don't know if you didn't see it the way I saw it, but I mean, she was darn near more interesting than Andy Cohen, and not in a disrespectful way to Andy Cohen. He's definitely in his heyday again. He's in a peak yet again. I know he's had moments where he sort of looked like he didn't enjoy the show, but he's back, so there's no diss there. But man, oh man, Kristen Cavallari, she just has it. And the biggest question, and this is, you're not going to want to hear it, this is very Larsa Pippen of her, is people don't like Larsa, but the reason I've loved Larsa from the beginning is because sometimes you grow up feeling very turn yourself down, almost like shame, and certain people you see and you see their success over the years. I have one of my best friends is like this, grew up always like, I am confident, I am success before success hits. And I think Larsa always had that, and I know that comparison is wild, but Larsa has that, and so does Kristen. And the reason I'll say that is because Kristen was asked something about a date through Andy Cohen, asked something about dating or dating advice, or what are you doing, quote unquote, in these streets at the moment or something. But the point is, she had all this, always keep on wanting more, know that you're the prize, you're the value, and keep it light and fun. And I'm just that's very, again, I'm not trying to compare very Larsa, because people who love Larsa, it's a very smaller group of us. But I'm just saying, me personally, when you go through your trials and tribulations and your successes and setbacks, I always love seeing somebody that's vibrant, that's, so to speak, jumps off the page, and I think Kristen has done that. The show premise is interesting in a good way, but it's also very easy, also in a good way, for it to get greenlit. I feel like it was really smart because the filming schedule is just sort of maximizing her tour schedule already. I'm not the biggest Paige DeSorbo fan. People love her. I don't think she has any. I mean, if I put captivating, Kristen Cavallari, insanely captivating. Paige DeSorbo, though successful and respect and all that, she's like at a 3. Kristen's at a 10. Paige never really jumped off the page. That's just not what she did. Jump off the page. But what she did do well was when she did her tour, massive tour, I'm giving all credibility to that, maximized it. You do your tour and then you film something else. I think her and her co-host, they do some kind of like the Try Guys used to have the YouTube series through BuzzFeed where you try something new all the time or whatever. Well, I think they did this one where they tried going to a vintage shop or going to a record store. There's not even record stores. Maybe they skydove or ate at this famous restaurant, like all throughout the tour of the cities that they went to. So I think that is good, and it is maximizing the situation. To Kristen Cavallari, same thing. You're gonna do the tour already. She's a mother, and you don't have a lot of like free time to do reality TV yet again, but condense it in such a way where you make your tour your show on E. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's just kind of the thing that inspires me. You see people have ups and downs, successes and setbacks. They take off and then all of a sudden no opportunity. And I love it because this one, more for me, is an inspiration of like, okay, let's get the wheels turning, Ronnie, that when something cracks through, how will you do that? And I don't know whose idea that was, if it was like E! Channel saying year after year after year, let's do another reality show, or if she was just like, listen, if I do a show, let's just profile this tour and there's just show. But it was good, and she brings back the Laguna Beach cast members, and she rides for her Laguna Beach cast way more. I mean, it's like there isn't a division, but it feels like the season 2 was her senior year versus the season 1 was Steven, Elsie, Lo, and everybody. So it's like become a little bit of a division, because I look at the show, watching it all those years ago, and I'm like, it's all Laguna Beach. I even think of the 3rd season, which wasn't that bad. The gal that was the lead on that show, she's got a podcast with a friend or whatever. So like everyone has grown and evolved, but now I'm kind of seeing like, oh, season 2 really was the show. But I always knew that because we always remember Kristen as being the star of that show. Interestingly enough, I don't think she enjoys the creator, because the creator has went on to do Selling Sunset, which I don't like Selling Sunset, but the creators went on to do Selling the OC, and I believe also Selling the City. And on Netflix, Selling the OC is amazing. Selling the City, amazing. So that creator does have a special sauce, but I don't think that Kristen really vibes out with him at all, which is just such a thing. That show that created a lot of that success for her, when she was a freshman and then meeting all the people and eventually getting to the show on Laguna Beach, as the star. I guess they're not in a good place, so to speak. Now, here was interesting as well. I guess she missed the original audition, but that's kind of a lot of it too. Sometimes, and I wonder about this, because I think we're taught to have enthusiasm and go for it. Let's go. Show that you want it, dedication and ambition. Anyways, she missed the audition. Now, I don't think she intended to do so, but she missed the audition. And there's something about that, like, take it or leave it, even though you really need it. You know what I mean? And I know that too, because, opportunities I've had or getting casted or auditioning for things, you always kind of win when you don't need. And I know what it looks like when you have like that stress coming through. And that stress is really, it's tough because you need something to move within your career, but then you let off that energy. And that's just like a 101 with friendships and relationships, and in this case, casting as well. But I just think it's so interesting. I mean, hear me now. Kristen Cavallari not on the Laguna Beach, meaning, there was a chance she missed the original audition. Like the day that they all auditioned, she said on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that she missed it originally. So it was like the next day days, she kind of went in and she knew what to do. She knew what to say. She knew how to light it up. It's just a sense of confidence that's just so strong, which is valuable. The show itself, with Kristen Cavallari on the E! channel is so good because you also get like a little bit of this going back nostalgia. I mean, there was even a little moment about how her mother wasn't really excited about her doing the show, but she was living with her father at the time. She's from Chicago, or I don't know if it's a suburb or whatnot, but then she moved to where her father was living in Laguna. The mom has a different reservation about, you're gonna do MTV, but I guess the father might have signed off on it or whatever. It's just all of these things. It's like all of these could have moments that would have maybe not given one of the greatest reality stars in the history of the genre. It always goes like Tiffany New York Pollard, one of the best. Nene Leakes, one of the best. Aubrey O'Day, who I do think Aubrey is amazing. Tammy Roman. There's all these cast members, but sometimes we don't think of the Laguna Beach, the Hills cast members. And I think Kristen Cavallari is definitely up there. Lauren Conrad could be up there, but I feel like this is not what she liked or needed. Not that like Kristen really likes or needs this. She has her other stuff, but Kristen, I always say it like this, like, I'm a big fan of Jennifer Lopez. It's like Jennifer Lopez is the type that success or not, dedication or not, being over 50 and looking as good as she is or not, even if she didn't have all that she had and created all the success she had, she could be working at the Piggly Wiggly grocery store, the CVS, or the Walgreens, and she'd still be the baddest in the room. And I think that's an inspiration, because that is what Kristen Cavallari is. Whether she had this or none of this, I think she still would have been very like confident, assertive, and I don't know, I could just go on and on and on. Sometimes I get a little bummed because, yes, I've spent nearly 20 years working in radio, but that didn't translate over in terms of getting numbers when numbers became a thing. Sadly, they became the only thing. So I didn't, get to utilize all of that experience and, switch them up to numbers to the point where, I could get the good Kristen Cavallari interview. It all kind of sucks in that way. The funny thing is, though, I've done the Watch What Happens Live about 3 times as the virtual caller, and I actually did get a correspondence, as far as availability. That was a day that I said I could do, but I guess they didn't ultimately go with me. But I could have. That would have been my one time to have a Kristen Cavallari, not interview, but like a question or whatever. But the way it goes is you just got to stay on the good foot. You got to keep on pumping, and you got to find the people that motivate you. And Kristen Cavallari is fun, and she's interesting, and I think she plays. Yeah, sure, she plays for social media. She plays for like the sound bites. She plays for the headlines. She plays for TikTok and, Twitter and all of these things. But she also plays for she's captivating and entertaining. And we just don't see that a lot anymore. Who would you put up there as the top 10 reality TV stars? I think she's up there with Aubrey O'Day. I think she's up there with Tammy Roman from The Real World 1992 and Basketball Wives. I think she's up there. Who else is just like, Spencer and Heidi, especially now. And even thinking like Kristen is the reason they kind of are together. Like, I don't know, like Kristen Cavallari, give her all the checks and give her so many checks that she can eventually get into the space of producing more podcasts, and then she could pick me up and we could do my show under the umbrella of whatever it is that she's doing. Anyways, I'm just having fun with it because, like I said, I want to make sure, I don't try to talk in like quick, fast sound bites. I'm not trying to do any deceiving this, that, or the other. I'm not trying to do any like breaking news that destroys people's lives. That is not what I spent so many years working in broadcast and loving broadcast and, the TV experiences I've had. That's not what I do this for. I do this for a little bit, like, it's funny, I'm trying to come up with it's like the vibe. It's like pop culture entertaining in a way that's still fun. And, sadly, everything's become TMZ only type of things, like woe is me, not woe is me, but like, oh my god, you're not gonna believe it, shocking headlines. And I'm just like, I don't know, don't we got more? Don't we want more? And I think like entertaining and pop culture could be still fun, in the words of Summer House's Kyle, summer should be fun, Amanda, not fun. No, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, this should still be like that's the reason you enjoyed watching film and cinema growing up. Yeah, reality TV is not that, but it's still a show, and I want it to be entertaining, and I think Kristen Cavallari is entertaining, So I think E! Channel is probably got a really long relationship with her because she is definitely got the star power, and that reality show did not disappoint. It's very different than the original one that like came to her. Her husband at the time, Jay Cutler, he was in the show, and it was that like docu-series style. This one's fast and it's fun and it's nostalgic and all those things. So it's actually really cool. Anyways, those are my raving reviews on Kristen Cavallari and her longevity in this business, new podcast, well, year-long podcast, and also just to have, another series. And gosh, over 20 years of working within the business is really like actually crazy. Like that's very much like hats off and kudos to her career. And I don't know what the, people do the fan base, like what are Kristen's fans called? The Cavallaris? Like I don't really know, but like it's like I feel like, yeah, I'm older, I'm dusty, I'm in my 40s, but bitch, I'm a Cavallari or whatever it is that she calls herself. I don't know, she makes me feel so corny because I get so excited. Like I don't geek out over a lot of people, over the years working in, broadcast, radio, production, behind the scenes. Like I met a lot of people, but like Kristen is like, she kind of gets me excited in a way. Anyways, thoughts in the comments. Go ahead and make that happen. Like and subscribe and hit that Patreon. And seems like there's new episodes coming up constantly. So go look at them all. There's over 1,000 now. Come on, let's go. Anyways, those are just my thoughts on the wonderfully talented Kristen Cavallari. All right.